Good morning, students. In our today's session, I'm going to teach you a poem, Nine Gold Medals, written by David Roth. David Roth is an American singer, and the poem inspires human understanding, collaboration, and compassion. So here, this poem is based on a real incident. Now let us read the poem. Nine Gold Medals by David Roth. The athletes had come from all over the country to run for the gold, for the silver, and the bronze. Many weeks and months of training, all coming down to these games, the spectators gathered around the whole field to cheer on all the young women and men. The final event of the day was approaching, excitement grew high to begin. The blocks were all lined up for those who would use them, the 100-yard dash and the race to be run. These were nine resolved athletes in back of the starting line, poised for the sound of the gun. The signal was given, the pistol exploded, and so did the runners, all charging ahead. But the smallest among them, he stumbled and staggered and fell to the asphalt instead. He gave out a cry in frustration and anguish. His dreams and his efforts are dashed in the dark. But as sure as I'm standing here telling the story, the same goes for what next occurred. The eight other runners pulled upon their heels, the ones who had trained for so long to compete. One by one, they all turned around and went back to help him and brought the young boy to his feet. Then all the nine runners joined hands and continued the 100-yard dash, now reduced to a walk. And the banner above that said, Special Olympics could not have been more on the mark. That is how the race ended with nine gold medals. They came to the finish line holding hands still, and a standing ovation with nine beaming faces said more than these words ever will. So here, this is the poem, which comprises of 8 stanzas. So each stanza has 4 lines as usual. So 32 lines are there in this. So now let us look at the title. No? What do you infer from the title after reading it immediately? Nine gold medals. Nine gold medals. It might be something related to some kind of competition, race, or any kind of sporting event. Okay. So here, let us start with the first answer. The athletes had come from all over the country to run for the gold, for the silver and bronze, many weeks and months of training, all coming down to these games. So here, the very first line, it speaks about athletes. So here, the athletes, they just, who's an athlete? Athlete is a person who is proficient in sports or any kind of physical exercise. Okay. The athletes had come from all over the country to run for the gold, for silver and bronze. So the people now who are proficient in sports, they come from various parts of the country to run for the gold, for the silver and bronze. It denotes aiming at the prizes which are specified at different levels. First, second, and third prizes. Many weeks and months of training all coming down to these games. So we know that now people like any sports person who is interested in playing sports, he or she must have a proper training before just going on a trial. So that is what happening here. Many weeks and months they are getting weeks and months of training. Here training denotes both mental and physical training. In case they are they are winning, that is okay, well and good. If they are not able to win, at the time what will happen? They will lose their confidence. So they'll be having both physical and mental fitness, all coming down to these games. So all the athletes having proper training, now they are ready to take part in that race. The spectators gathered around the old field to cheer on all the young women and men. So, if in case if you are speaking about any kind of sports event, the sports persons, they must be encouraged by spectators or audience. Am I right? Here, spectators gathered around the old field. So, all the spectators are they are also there, they are gathered there around the whole field to cheer on all the young women and men. So here they are there to cheer on. They are there to encourage both men and women. Here men and women, participants. Okay, who are participating in the what is that? Sports event. The final event of the day was approaching. Excitement grew high to begin. So they are at that time, the spectators are there to witness the final match. Final match, so that what kind of excitement? What is the excitement? The state of being excited, especially you're not sure about the result at the time. No, something interesting is going to happen. So that kind of excitement they are having at that time. So they are there to support them, they are there to encourage the participants, and they are very much eager than the participants to know about the results. The blocks were all lined up for those who would use them, the 100-yard dash and the race to be run. There were 9 resolved athletes in the back of the starting line, poised for the sound of the gun. So the blocks, what do you mean by blocks? The starting class, the starting point from where they have to begin the race. We're all lined up for those who would use it. So everything is made ready, everything is ready. They are there on the sporting field. The 100-yard dash. So whenever we speak about what you say, 100-meter race, 200 meters, so we need to know specify that particular measurement, no meter like that. Here we speak about yard. What do you mean by yard? Yard is nothing but 0.9144 meter. Okay, one yard is equivalent to 0.9144 meter. So this is 100-yard dash and the race to be run. So they are ready to take part in the race because everything is made ready for them to compete in that race. There were 9 resolved athletes. So now only we come to know the number of participants. So here we have 9. Resolved means determined athletes. In the back of the starting is they are ready, they are facing the starting line of the race. Poised for the sound of the gun. What do you mean by poised? Composed, having a balance, and they are ready for action. Okay, here they are ready for the sound of the gun. So here's the spectators are also there to cheer on all the participants, and the participants, what about the participants? They are ready in the sporting arena. They are ready before the starting line. Everything is ready. Now they are waiting for the signal. The signal was given, the pistol exploded, and so did the runners all charging ahead. But the smallest among them, he stumbled and staggered and fell to the asphalt instead. Here, the signal. What do you mean by signal here? The sound of the gun, the pistol, the signal was given, the pistol exploded. So now, here, by exploding the pistol, they are getting the signal. So did the runners all charging ahead. All the runners, they have started the competition, they have started moving forward. They are moving quickly, okay, they're running quickly. And so did the runners all charging ahead, but the smallest among them, he stumbled and staggered. The smallest person among all the 9 athletes, here he loses his balance. Stumbled means he loses his balance and he is almost in the level of falling down. And fell to the asphalt instead. What is the asphalt? A thick black substance which is used to make the surface of the road. Okay, surface of the road. So here he falls down on the surface. This man, the smallest person, smallest contestant, he is falling down. He's not able to have the balance to run over the. So he is falling down. Now, 5th stanza, he gave out a cry of frustration and anguish. His dreams and his efforts all dashed in the dirt. But as sure as I am standing here telling the story, the same goes for what next occurred. So here, he falls down here. Everyone is witnessing that he is not taking part in that race because instead he falls down. He gave it a cry. He cries out in pain, okay, in frustration and anguish. What do you mean by frustration? He cries out of exasperation, okay, because he's not able to take part. And anguish means mental pain, agony. His dreams and his efforts all dashed, and all his efforts, all his hope, all his hard work, now everything has become nothing, zero. But as sure as I'm standing here telling the story, the same goes for what next. Now the poet, he has witnessed everything. That is why he is very much interested in making this incident into a poem. So he is going to explain what happened next. The 8 other runners pulled up on their heels, the ones who had trained for so long to compete. One by one, they all turned around and went back to help him and brought the young boy to his feet. So apart from this one boy who has fallen down, there are 8 more runners. No, they can even continue the race because they got the signal. They no need to care for other person. The 8 other runners pulled up on their heels. What do you mean by pulling up on heels? They are taking a defensive step instead of moving forward. They are taking backward step. They are taking a backward step. The ones who had trained for so long to compete, so all them, including the one who has fallen down, even no after, excluding him, all the other 8 participants, they have got so much training. The others were trained for so long to compete. They are there to compete with one another. They are not there to take care of others, but they are there to take part in the competition, take part in the race. One by one, they all turned around and went back to help you. So now, instead of moving forward, instead of running forward, now they are going to take care of the boy. They turned around and went back to help him. They are going to help that boy and brought the young boy to his feet. All the 8 other runners, they are making the smallest boy. What do you mean by this? Brought the young boy to they are making him stand on his feet. Then all the 9 runners joined hands and continued the 100-yard dash, now reduced to a walk. Now all of them, they are joining their hands together. Instead of running, they all walk towards the goal. And the banner above that said Special Olympics. What kind of banner? They are running under the banner Special Olympics. Could not have been more on the mark. So they are about to reach the mark only by mere walking. That is how the race ended. With 9 gold medals, they came to the finish line holding hands, still understanding ovation, and 9 beaming faces said more than these words ever been. So here, so all the 8 other runners, they are helping that smallest boy to, they want to include him along with them in the race, so that all the 9 participants, they join together. They are having arms in arms, and now they walk towards the end of the line. Here, they all become winners by winning the 9 gold medals. There are 9 participants, all of them are winners. They are all announced as winners, and they all are getting 9 gold medals. They came to the finish line holding hands. So till they reach the end of the line, goal, they have, they are joining hands together, understanding ovation. The audience who are witnessing everything, what is happening, they are enjoying thoroughly what is going on in the sports ground. And 9 beaming faces, all these faces, all these boys or girls faces, they are beaming faces, means smiling bright faces, said more than these words. So the poet has tried to explain what has happened, what he has witnessed in person that happened in that particular Special Olympics event. But here he speaks that all 9 beaming faces could explain more than what he has tried to explain. Do you understand? Say, what do you mean by this Special Olympics? Olympics, we know, there will be various races and all. So what do you mean by Paralympics or Special Olympics? Paralympics? Paralympics focuses on persons with physical disabilities, whereas Special Olympics focuses on persons with intellectual disabilities. Okay, mental disabilities. So what is the message conveyed by the poet in the poem? Yes? So here the world doesn't need any kind of competition. Rather, it needs more collaboration and cooperation. So here, what kind of idea that this Special Olympic instill in the mind of the competitors? It instills a sense of self-confidence and other skills. So now let us see the rhyme scheme used by the poet. So is there any specific rhyme scheme throughout the poem? There is no in all the stanzas. There is no specific rhyme scheme throughout the poem. There are some instances of slant rhymes. Slant rhymes mean only one stanza will rhyme. Here, look at the fourth stanza. Exploded ahead, staggered instead. Only this stanza we have the rhyming pattern. Okay. Look at the meter. What is the meter used by the poet? Look at the first three stanzas. The first three stanzas are composed of anapistic meter in which we have three syllables. Anapistic meter is based on three syllables in which we'll be having two stressed syllables, unstressed syllables, which is followed by one stressed syllable. Okay, three in which first two will be unstressed, that will be followed by one stressed syllable. And yes, occasionally made use of iambic, and one more meter is also being used by the poet. What is that? 9 gold. Here spondy meter has been used. What do you mean by spondy meter? In which it concentrates on two syllables, both are stressed. 9 gold, both are stressed. Now let us see the literary devices used by the poet. We can see alliteration here. Can you find out? Are you able to find out the alliteration used by the poet? What do you mean by alliteration, first of all? The use of repeated sounds at the beginning of nearby words. Am I right? So here, stumbled and staggered. Yes, the sound of yes. And dashed in the dirt, the sound of D. So here, onomatopoeia is also used by the poet. Onomatopoeia is used to describe the sounds made by human beings, animals, birds, and inanimate objects too. Here, the poet has made use of this onomatopoeia to refer the explosion of pistol. The pistol exploded. Okay, then one more device is also being used. What is that? Metonymy. What is metonymy? It is a kind of figurative language that refers to a situation in which we'll be referring one thing instead of other. For say the first stanza, look at the second line, to run for the gold, for the silver and bronze. Here, one form is substituted for another. We'll be referring one form instead of other form. I already told you. What is that? Instead of using the word medals, he has made use of three different words to denote the categories of medals. First, second, third, prize. He can use either the word medals or prizes, but he has made use of the words gold, silver, and bronze. Now let us see the discussion questions. Do you think the title of the poem is justified? 9 gold medals. How? Yes. Question number 2, discuss the central idea of the poem. So these are the two questions that are related to this poem, 9 gold medals. Now I'm going to explain the same poem in Tamil. So the 9 gold medals by David Roth. I already told you David Roth is not a professional writer. He's a singer. He's an American singer. The athletes had come from என்ன பார்க்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சான்ஸால என்ன சொல்றாரு அப்படின்னா நிறைய இடத்துல இருந்து வந்திருக்காங்க அத்லீட்ஸ் வந்து வேற வேற பிளேசஸ்ல இருந்து எதுக்கு வந்திருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா டு டேக் பார்ட் இன் த காம்படிஷன் பை எய்மிங் அட் பிரைசஸ் இந்த எனக்கு பிரைஸ் வேணும் எல்லாருமே அப்படி தானே பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணுவாங்க எக்ஸாம் எழுதுறப்ப நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம் அட்லீஸ்ட் ஒரு 90%, 95 அந்த மாதிரி எய்ம் பண்ணுவோம் நமக்கு தெரியும் நம்ம எவ்வளவு படிச்சிருக்கோம் அதே மாதிரி தான் ஸோ அவங்க they are aiming at the prizes and they are taking part in the competition. அதனால வராங்க பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்றாங்க இல்லையா நிறைய அதுக்கு என்ன பண்றாங்க நிறைய வீக்ஸ் அண்ட் மந்த்ஸ் டுகெதர் ட்ரைனிங் ப்ராப்பர் ட்ரைனிங் பிசிக்கல் அண்ட் மென்டல் ட்ரைனிங் அவங்களுக்கு ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் பர்சன்ஸ்க்கெல்லாம் வந்து ரொம்ப நிறைய கவுன்சிலிங்லாம் கொடுப்பாங்க நிறைய ஹார்ட்ஷிப்ஸ் எப்படி ஃபேஸ் பண்றது ஒரு ஃபெயிலியூரை நான் எப்படி டீல் பண்றது அதுக்கெல்லாம் ப்ராப்பர் ட்ரைனிங் இருக்கும் ஏன்னா ஆல் ஆஃப் சடன் அவங்க அக்செப்ட் பண்ணுவோம்ல ஹார்ட் ரியாலிட்டி அவங்க எப்பயுமே பாசிட்டிவா இருப்பாங்க இன்கேஸ் நெகட்டிவ் வந்ததுன்னா எப்படி அதை ஃபேஸ் பண்றது அந்த டைமுக்கு ஸோ அதெல்லாம் நிறைய ட்ரைனிங் அவங்களுக்கு இருக்கும் ஸோ அதெல்லாம் முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் இந்த ஆர் தேர் அங்க இருக்காங்க, அவங்க எல்லாரும் வந்திருக்காங்க. எதுக்கு வந்திருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்றதுக்கு வந்திருக்காங்க. ஓகே, இப்போ அது எல்லாரும் என்ன பண்ணிட்டாங்க, ஸ்பெக்டேட்டர்ஸ் எல்லாம் அங்க சுத்தி இருக்காங்க. So now we would like to remind the poem which you studied in Siromani first year, first semester. There was a poem about, which also deals with the same sports persons, sporting spirit. Do you remind that?